the darkest moments of your life, when the world seems to have turned its back on you, when every door you knock on remains closed, and when even the closest of friends vanish into the shadows, remember this: no one is coming to save you. You are alone in the fight. But in that loneliness lies a power, a fire that burns deep within you, waiting to be unleashed. There was a time when you were surrounded by people, friends, colleagues, those who promised to stand by your side. But when life hit hard, when the storms came, they scattered like leaves in the wind. They left you to face the darkness alone, to pick up the pieces of your shattered dreams. It was in those moments of abandonment, of deep despair, that you discovered a truth that would change you forever. The only person you can truly rely on is yourself. You see, when you're down and out, when the world looks at you like you're nothing, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity, to wait for a helping hand that will never come. But that's not who you are. You're not someone who stays down. You're a fighter, a warrior. And warriors don't wait for rescue. They carve their own path, even if it means clawing their way out of the abyss with bare hands. You remember the faces of those who turned away, those who doubted you, who called you a failure behind your back. Their words, their actions, they cut deep. But instead of letting those wounds fester, you use them as fuel. You let their doubt become the spark that ignites your resolve. Every insult, every rejection, every moment of neglect is a brick in the fortress of your strength. You train, you work, you grind harder than ever before. Not because you want to prove them wrong, though that's part of it, but because you know that your worth is not defined by their opinions. It's defined by what you do when no one is watching. It's in those lonely nights, in the hours of sweat and pain, that you're forging the steel of your character. And then one day, you rise. You achieve what they said you couldn't. You stand tall, not just in front of those who doubted you, but in front of yourself. Because the sweetest victory isn't in showing them they were never your competition. The sweetest victory is in proving to yourself that you could do it, that you could rise from nothing, from the ashes, and become something unstoppable. But here's the real test. Now that you've risen, now that you've conquered your demons and silenced the doubters, what will you do with your power? This is where true warriors show their strength. You remember the pain, the loneliness, the feeling of being lost and abandoned. You remember what it felt like to have no one, to fight every battle alone. So when you see someone struggling, someone who is where you once were, you don't turn your back. You don't ignore their pain. Because you know what it's like to walk through hell, and you know that sometimes even warriors need a hand. Not to save them, but to remind them that they're not alone. Because real strength isn't just about rising above, it's about lifting others up with you. It's about turning your scars into a source of light for those still fighting in the dark. You've become a warrior, not just for yourself, but for those who need someone to believe in them when no one else will. So remember, when you're down and out, when the world has turned its back on you, fight like hell. Become the warrior you were born to be. Rise from the ashes. And when you do, don't forget to reach back and help someone else rise too. Because there's nothing sweeter than success, but there's nothing more powerful than using that success to make the world a better place.